We're diving into South Africa's history, a story of displacement and injustice.
It's a really, really complex and painful part of South African history. Millions of people were uprooted from their homes.
And it wasn't just one event, right? This wasn't a single act of cruelty, but a long, drawn-out process, was it?
Exactly. It spanned centuries, from colonial times right through apartheid and even into the present day.
Wow. So we're talking about generations affected by this? That's incredible. So let's start at the beginning. What were some of the earliest laws that led to forced removals?
Even before apartheid, there were discriminatory laws limiting land ownership and movement for non-white South Africans. The 1913 Native Land Act is a prime example.
So it wasn't just about apartheid, it was a system built over time? I see.
Absolutely. These early laws laid the groundwork for the more systematic removals under apartheid. Think of the 1906 and 1908 Asiatic Law Amendment ordinances targeting Indian South Africans. Right.
And these laws weren't just about where people could live, they impacted their livelihoods too, right?
Precisely. They controlled access to land, businesses, and employment, creating a system of economic exploitation. A really awful system.
Then came the Group Areas Act of 1950. That's when things really escalated, correct?
The Group Areas Act was the formalization of forced removals on a massive scale. It legally segregated urban areas based on race.
So it wasn't just about moving people, it was about creating racially defined spaces? That's terrible.
Exactly. Desirable areas were designated for whites, while non-whites were relegated to less desirable locations. This led to the destruction of established communities. It's heartbreaking.
And the methods used to remove people were brutal, weren't they?
Some removals involved violence, bulldozing homes, threats. Others were more subtle: intimidation, economic pressure, closing schools and businesses. It was horrific.
How many people were affected by these removals?
Over 3.5 million people were forcibly removed by 1982, and many more after that. The Surplus Peoples Project documented the scale of this tragedy. It's staggering.
And it wasn't just the physical displacement, it had lasting social and economic consequences, right?
Absolutely. Families were torn apart, communities destroyed, and economic opportunities severely limited for those who were moved. The legacy continues to this day. It's a deep wound.
It sounds like the psychological impact must have been devastating.
It was. Oral histories reveal the trauma and hardship experienced by those who were forced from their homes. Unbelievable.
So even after apartheid ended, forced removals continued?
Yes, though on a smaller scale and often driven by economic factors like gentrification and farm evictions. But the underlying racial inequalities persist, sadly.
So the old patterns are still playing out in new ways?
Unfortunately, yes. The legacy of forced removals continues to shape South Africa's social and economic landscape.